Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. I'm Mike Amos. He's Bill Rice Jr. and he's Forrest Lee. And Mike Amos will be joining us by way of Zoom TV in a few moments as we get started in a wonderful, beautiful, sunny day in South Alabama and welcome you back to Today in L.A. Rice, tell us about it.
Well, yesterday started out pretty dismal and bleak, and it turned into a pretty day, though.
Beautiful day.
Saw some sunshine, which when you see it, it makes you realize how much you missed it. I mean, we have had a lot of gray days over the, what would you say, last 2 or 3 weeks?
A lot.
A lot of rainy, cold days, and I think everybody is getting spring fever, ready for the spring by now.
Stevie Camp's getting us ready this morning. And of course, how could we operate without Steve Camp? I got my Troy hat on real quick. I don't have all my hair back yet. But
how long is it going to take to grow it back?
I don't know, but I don't have to worry about it.
You want some of mine? I need a haircut.
Hey, I tell you, Rice, you got a pretty good wig. Yours is a wig, of course.
Well, yesterday morning I drove by Raymond's and I had to go home real quick, and there was like 2 cars there, and I kind of stopped. I said, "No, I'll get it on the way back." I came back. It looked like a used parking lot.
Yeah. See if you can get his telephone number and let's call him.
And I've got it.
All right, see if you can get it. Raymond. We're going to call Raymond's style shop
So he's
on
back,
South
Raymond's
Broadway
back
Street.
cutting?
He's back.
And we're going to see if Raymond is around. He's one of our dear friends. And
well, I'm going to go take him and take myself and Jack, and we're going to go see him Saturday morning.
I got him listed as Big Daddy Ledford.
Big Daddy Ledford, that's right. Call him and let's see if he'll call in or answer the phone. I'm sure he will.
See if he'll.
Here we go.
He might can put it by the speaker.
Hold that right there.
Hello.
Raymond, bum 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 bum. Raymond, bum 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 bum. Are you back, Raymond?
Yeah, I'm back.
Man, you have scared us. You scared us to death.
Saturday and yesterday.
Great.
And did you cut a lot of hairs?
About 20 or 30 yesterday.
Okay, had a big day yesterday. They're just starting to storm in. They hadn't had a haircut since they last saw you, and I know it's got to be tough.
I'm coming to. This is Bill Rice. I'm coming to see you with Jack on Saturday morning, Raymond.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Well, Raymond, tell us what happened, buddy. You scared us to death, Raymond. We thought we were going to lose you, Raymond, but
I never thought it for a second.
I know.
I got on that helicopter and flew down to Sacred Heart in Pensacola, Florida.
I know exactly where that is.
But I didn't. Dr. Law told me, Eric Law told me, said, I'm sending you to the, I got 2 folks and 2 neurosurgeons in Pensacola that know what they're doing. I'm going to send you down there. I said, I appreciate it. I'll go.
I was wondering why you were in Pensacola, but I reckon you didn't have a whole lot of hospital space out there.
If you need a doctor, Dr. Law knows who to send you to. He's got them.
I tell you what, he's my doctor.
He researches these doctors, I reckon.
Well, Dr. Law is my doctor, and I love him, and I trust anything he'd do. I trust anything he'd do.
Raymond had a deal. He had an operation. They call it the suicide thing. He's behind the blood vessels drop down on it in the back of your head, right behind your ear. They drop down on a nerve, and these doctors go in there and they have to cut your skull behind your ear, cut his, and they go in there and put some packing under them blood vessels and get them off that nerve. But it's such a bad pain, you know, you just can't hardly live with it.
Now, this was your son Raymond, is that right?
Yeah, he went to Eric Law, sent him to Birmingham.
When did that happen? When did all this happen? Did it happen a long time ago or what?
A few years ago.
Oh, okay.
2 or 3 years ago.
Well, let me ask you this, Raymond. How are you feeling? Are you feeling good?
I'm doing good. I hadn't got any pain. I fell in the barber shop slipped down on the wet floor.
Yeah.
Hit my head on the barber chair footrest.
Oh no.
Right behind my ear.
Oh no. Did you think when you were laying there? How long did you lay there?
2 seconds. I jumped up.
Oh, you did?
Perry Green's hair. And before I got through, we was talking, you know. Before I got through cutting it, well, just in 2 minutes, it quit hurting. Then I worked.
Was anybody in the chair? Was anybody in the chair?
Green.
Perry Tank Green was in the chair. You had a preacher there to give you your last rites.
He was there with me to go to Pensacola. He sent me to Pensacola too.
Well, Raymond, I want.
But your preacher.
4 or 5 weeks later, I went to Pensacola.
Oh, 4 or 5 weeks
I
later.
went back to work, cut Perry's hair, cut about 10 or 15 Saturday morning till 12, worked 5.5 days the next week, 5.5 the next week, 5.5 the next week, and then started on the next week. And
Wow.
Jerry told Raymond, said, you got to carry your daddy to the doctor. And he was going to Dr. Law, so we went out there, and Dr. Law told him, said, oh, I'll give you a shot and you'll be well, but your daddy's going to Pensacola. Said he's flying on that helicopter.
So he saw.
Wow.
What were you diagnosed? What kind of
I
diagnosis?
was bleeding inside my head. I had blood inside
Oh
my
boy.
head.
So you said that the actual injury happened weeks before you went to
Yeah.
Pensacola?
Oh, yeah. I didn't have a pain. When I got up, 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, I was well as far as I was concerned. I didn't have another pain. I went to Pensacola. They did the surgery. I didn't have a pain in my head, or they were sore where they kind of drilled and chiseled in about whatever they did. Larry Meeks, he told me he was after I got back, he was going to Tennessee with my brother-in-law, White Austin. Larry says they told me that that doctor down there had a whole set of tools from Harbor Freight and said he tried to drill in your head, and he tore up, broke his drill bits, his chisels, and his burned up 3 drills trying to drill in that head. Said he found some iron ore
Yeah.
and a lot of other
Yeah.
stuff.
Well.
He said,
All right. Well, Raymond, back to serious business. How long were you in the hospital? And let me tell you this, Raymond. You and I have something in common. We had brain surgery the same month. I had brain surgery, and you had brain surgery.
Joe Watson had it too.
That's right. The same doctor.
Well, how long were you in the hospital, Raymond?
I was down there 11 days.
Raymond, and everybody up here was thinking that we were thinking that this was it. This was it.
Have you wet a hook yet?
The what now?
Have you wet a hook? Have you been fishing?
No. Let me tell you. You should have said it. You-
I started to go one time, and I said, if I fall in that cherry, she done spent 11 days in Pensacola in the hospital with me. If I fall and hurt my head, that girl should be wanting to kill me, and I wouldn't blame her.
I know. I've heard this, Raymond. I've heard this. No more fishing for Raymond. No more. They just think it's too costly, and so Raymond, no more fishing and no more fooling around with what is it that you make out of that little wood stick?
He's a beekeeper.
No hunting and no fishing for Raymond ever again.
My fishing partner's already come to see me, and he said he's ready. When I get ready, we're going to go.
Well, it's too cold to fish.
Well, at one time,
This week, be ready.
at one time, Raymond, you had us scared to death, and thank goodness the doctors.
We've all been thinking and praying for you, Raymond.
The
So-
doctors.
Y'all prayed for me. That was everybody in the Troy, I reckon, was praying for me. That's what brought me back.
Well, I tell you what.
When I got on the helicopter, somebody said, "Are you afraid?" I said, "Afraid." and I don't worry about nothing, and I ain't afraid. I got on that helicopter in the passenger seat,
Yeah.
flew right on down there and got in the hospital. But I'm telling you, when I had the 2 minutes of pain, I did not have another pain in my head, and I come back and I still hadn't had it.
Well, how did they know to send you to Pensacola if you didn't have any pain? Why did you even go to the doctor?
I went because I was about to freeze to death. I was sitting in the house when I get out of work all day. If I sat down, I went to sleep. And then when I got home, I'd wrap a blanket around me and have 2 heaters around me.
Uh-huh.
And Cherry told Raymond, said, your daddy's bad sick. You need to carry him to Dr. Law, being you going today. He carried me out there, and like I say, he told Raymond, said, I give you a shot and cure your foot, but I got to send your daddy down to Pensacola. There's 2 doctors down there know what they're doing.
Let me tell you something, Raymond. Did you have cold feet?
My whole body was cold.
All right. Well, listen, I get cold feet. I get where my feet get so cold, they drives me almost nuts. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And it's cold feet, and hey, I could wrap them and wrap them and wrap them, and I still can't get rid of the pain.
Well, see, I don't have no trouble with that. I got pretty good circulation in my feet.
Well,
So
I've been standing at that barber shop for about 60 years.
yeah, you're right.
So you must have told the doctor about that fall when you went to see him.
Oh, yeah, we told him, and I said,
And that's when
I
he
had the 2 minutes of pain.
and that's where he figured it out.
Dr. Law gave me a CAT scan.
Well, the good Lord called old Paleface over, and old Paleface was sitting up there waiting for you. But hey, you wouldn't come. So right now, the Lord has to put Paleface on hold, and and gonna wait till a rainy day.
Folks all over Pike County and the state of Alabama, they were praying for
I
me.
mean, we had sirens going on. We had all kinds of things going on, Raymond,
Oh, yeah.
to alert the people that Raymond was down. Raymond was down. What were we going to do? What were we going to do?
I never did think of nothing but coming back and going to work.
Yeah, right. That's all you. You're exactly right. But just say,
Folks, when I got back, were going to need a haircut.
Yeah.
well, there's
I'm back.
some little old guy down the street has rented your buddy's place, and he got all your business. So you're gonna have to slowly but surely get it back.
Yeah, I'll take it back.
How did your haircut? How did the haircut turn out once you got back? Was it just like riding the bike again?
I'm doing good. I'm doing about good as I was. I couldn't stand the Kelly's hair one day, and I told him, I said, one of these days I'm going to have to get me a pair of glasses. He said, oh, no. I told my wife before I left the house, I said, Raymond don't need to see no hair. He just feels it.
He knows it's there.
He knows where every strand is.
He knows what he's doing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to one of the real legends in Troy and Pike County, Raymond Ledford. Of course, he's had surgery, and we've worried and we worried and we worried, but no longer do we worry. Raymond is back in the throttle, and he's walking around, and all these folks are coming in, and they finally can get a haircut because Raymond is open for business.
You know, a lot of them I've been cutting their hair 60 years.
That's right.
60 years. Same people. That's
I
amazing.
went to Pine Level, cut Mr. Parker Gray Mount's hair, and
When he would,
Bill, his son, Bill, says, I said, I've been cutting your daddy's hair 60 years. He says, I'm 58 and you cut my first one.
and let me tell these people a little bit about who we're talking about. Parker Gray Mount, but we're talking about the Chapel Gray. Chapel Gray, ladies and gentlemen, was his dad, and they lived off Highway 231.
That was his uncle.
Oh, that was his uncle, but he lived up there on Highway 231. And somebody told me at one time he owned over 60,000 acres of land.
And Mr. Parker Gray he put Parker Gray
Yeah.
And Mr. Parker said you wouldn't believe how much land, how many cows, how much timber he sold to pay the IRS.
Isn't that
He
unreal?
said that is one more job.
Yeah, that is.
Boy, I tell you, but we're talking about Parker Gray Mount. You're talking about a lot of land there, no question.
Oh, he got two fine sons, Bill Mount and Gray.
Yeah.
He named one of his sons Gray.
Did they ever let you hunt on their land?
I never did ask them. Skin Oak had 10,000 acres.
Is Skin Oak still open for business? Is Skin Oak?
No, they got tired of us running dogs, so
I
just got out of. I ain't been in about 6 years now.
Well, Raymond, I tell you what, laying all jokes aside, it's so many people that love you, Raymond, that care about you, and let me tell you this, hey, life goes on with Raymond Ledford, and that means life goes on for all the folks that sits in his chair, and they can't wait to get there, Raymond. They can't wait to get there. I don't know why.
I'm standing in my dining room. I may have some waiting on me now. I better get on up.
What, you're at home? You're not in the shop?
I was supposed to be there at 7, but you called me and I didn't.
Oh, yeah. Well, Raymond, you're always welcome to walk in this door down here on South Brundage Street to see how you're doing.
I was going to tell you, I'm coming to see you about next week sometime.
All right, hey, we'd love to have you, my friend.
We'll talk about
And exactly. And remember, Raymond, bum, 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 bum.
Everybody loves Raymond.
Everybody loves Raymond.
Coach, it ain't me.
We'll see you later. Thank you so much, Raymond.
Yeah.
And everybody make sure to run by.
All right. See you Saturday, Raymond.
And if you, let me just say this: if you don't even get a haircut, when you go by a shop, honk that horn real loud to let everybody know that Raymond is open for business.
You know who you'll see there? You'll see Jerry Vincent probably.
Yeah, Jerry Vincent owns part of that land there.
I think Raymond's still on the phone.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that Raymond's still on the phone. Of course, Raymond has cut a lot of people's hair and the kids, but I mean it's really a true fact.
We'll
that,
see, Mr. Raymond.
People have missed you and have worried about you, and now we know you're gonna be okay.
I think we need to stop traffic and just circle that store for an hour.
Raymond, we're gonna go to a short break. We'll be right back.
Raymond.
Our history is woven with the stories of those we serve. At Max, we've been a good community partner for 65 years. Max is dedicated to providing dependable financial services and to supporting our communities. We volunteer our time and share our resources. As a credit union, we've returned millions of dollars back to our members, local nonprofits, and small businesses. Max is honored to be a part of your story. We look forward to serving you for years to come.
Hi, Sandy. I'm right here. Come on in.
Betty, I'm right here. Miss Mary, I'm right here. I'm right here.
Since 1969, we've been right here because at Troy Regional Medical Center, we take these words to heart.
I'm right here. Thank you.
Remarkable people, remarkable care.
Here at Bill Jackson Chevrolet in Troy, we've been doing business the right way for 31 years. But don't take our word for it. We feel our customers express it the best.
Been honest in everything we've discussed with them.
When they say Jackson Satisfaction, they really mean it.
The Jackson Satisfaction is real.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Just in Troy, you could write
Back
about.
to our show and the Trojans of Troy. The Trojans of Troy will prevail as the girls of the Charles Simpson High School girls have advanced to the Final Four in Birmingham starting this next week.
Raymond.
Raymond.
Hey, Raymond's one of the great characters. Troy is just full of great characters. We were talking about all the stories I could write about different people.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, one of the favorite ones I wrote when I had the Troy Citizen was a feature story on the legend of Robert Dunn.
Oh, yeah.
Funny.
Oh, yeah. And, and a lot of these people are gone. And I wouldn't mind writing an article each week
about people
portraying these people that are no longer with us.
I think that people eat it up. They
from Tip Kiley to Chase Riddle to C.F. Rowland there's so many great people and great that there's the story.
Well, Raymond learned from Junior Bird, and he was a character. But Junior Bird, he always looked after Raymond did too. Yeah. I think remember Albert Scarborough.
Yeah, Albert Scarborough. Yes,
everybody in Troy knew him.
I know all about Albert Scarborough.
Yeah. So.
Albert Scarborough. My daddy used to pick him up and carry him to Troy a lot and everything. And he would sound like this, doing all kinds of stuff. And Albert Scarborough. Let me tell you a quick story. I don't know how quick it is.
Tell a long story.
But let me just tell you a little story about Albert Scarborough. He would come into Troy, and then he'd catch a ride back to where he was from. It was down there around Zion Chapel, and that's where he lived. And he would, catch a ride in town. My daddy gave him a ride several times, and he would hang around the courthouse, and he would go to Coot liquor store, and he would just carry on with all the people in the square. And when Galt came through, of course, Galt was the guy that came through and shot and killed
the bank robber,
a banker in Ozark, and then went on up to Louisville and shot a sheriff, and it went on a shooting spree. And everybody started saying after all that happened that they saw Galt, and they were talking one day, and Scarborough just kept telling. He said, I saw him looking over at the bank in Troy, and I bet he had his mind on robbing the bank in Troy. I saw him, and he said, and this old guy down the street, Mr. John Lou Wombles, said he saw him, and when they went to interview Scarborough about it, and he said, they said, I heard you saw this guy in Troy looking at the bank and all that, and he said, yeah. And old John Lou Wombles down the street said he sold him a beer. And people that know who Scarborough was, he wanted all the while. He said, I'm the one. I saw him in Troy. And then it comes up that John Lou Wombles down the street said he sold him a beer. Heck,
Wasn't Galt, he was a eye doctor or something? Or?
He was an eye doctor. I think that's what he was.
That's a great story. I mean, that I need to write. Dad wrote a story about that.
And it was a sad story too, because
he killed a Troy police officer.
He killed a Troy police officer, Mr. Hayden Youngblood. Boy, what bravery! What bravery! I could cry, talking about it. And of course, I know Tommy, and I know Tommy's son, and knew Charlie, and knew all those folks lived right around the corner from me.
Well, they finally got him at a little country store by Spring Hill or Needmore.
No, it was Needmore. It was Needmore
on the Banks Highway in Needmore.
But it was right there on the corner where he stopped at a store, right there on the corner of the Highway 29 and Needmore Road, and he pulled around back, and then pulled back around front. And what it was, Hayden Youngblood stopped in front of the store, ran in and said, "Have you got a shotgun? Have you got a shotgun?" And he got a gun. And when he turned around, this guy shot him through the screen door.
Oh my God!
And Hayden Youngblood, he was told, he was worried about the lady in the store when the man pulled around it, and that's what happened. He came back around on his car, shot him through the screen door, went on down to a cemetery, several miles down that Needmore Road. I want to say.
Right past Morgan Grocery?
I want to say the...
Morgan's Grocery, I forgot about that.
Well, it was Morgan's Grocery, but it was a cemetery.
Wasn't it a situation where several people in the community, several people were following the police?
Oh, yeah. It was just hundreds of people that drove out to where this was going on, and he was in a cemetery. And he was trapped up there, and he was somebody, the highway patrolman and people from all over, the law enforcement all over were burning their engines to get to the scene, and then high school kids and college kids heard about it, and they came out there, and somebody told me it was over 200 people at one time was out there at the site, and this guy was a real good shooter, and he kept at it for a while until finally they cornered him, and I think a highway patrolman, I don't know where he was from, and anything, shot over there and killed him, and that's the rest of the story.
What year was this, would you say?
In the 60s, early 60s, I would say. I was in the 9th grade. That would be 14. I'd say it was early.
That's one of the news stories that you always remember.
1960 or 61, and I know I was going to Charles Simpson High School as a during that time. I was thinking, it would be around that time, 1960, 61. That occurred.
Well, that would be a great story. I'm sure it's been written several times.
Well, it would be a.
Because everybody remembers it.
Yeah,
everybody talk, even me, who wasn't born, just heard so many stories about
they're
it.
starting to run out. Hey, these people are starting to get older and older and older, so you would almost have to go back to old newspapers to find out.
The shocking story that everyone in Montgomery remembers, and Troy too, was the Dale's Penthouse fire in the mid-'60s. And I wrote a big story about that when I was a reporter in Montgomery before I moved back to Troy, and did a lot of reporting on what happened, 40 or 50 years later. That was a big national story.
And I tell you, it was a place where all of the newspaper people, sport news, people, well-known people that wrote the sports and all that. That's where they congregated after the press
went off. You got the paper out, yeah.
And they got the paper out, and then we'd go down there and have a drink, whatever. And it was a beautiful place. It was on top of a penthouse.
Yeah,
a
the
big
one
hotel.
thing I learned, it's the same family that has the steak sauce, Dale's Steak Sauce.
Yeah.
And it's Dale's Penthouse in Montgomery, which was on top of the tallest building at the time in Montgomery.
Is that building? Did they tear?
It's still there. It's still there.
Still there. Yeah.
And even the top part of it is still there.
And it was a hotel though at one time, I think, or apartment complex.
But most of the Dale's restaurants, and it was a chain of them, probably about 20 of them, they were in cellars. The most famous one in downtown Birmingham was in the basement, and so this was the first one that was actually way up high. It was a real cold night. I remember that.
And of course,
it was
a fire.
I think 24 or 25 people perished.
Sure did. And John, Dawn, the sports director, I want to say.
His wife.
It was his wife, or was it him?
His wife.
His wife was in there. And of course, it's a sad time in Montgomery. But it was a true story of that happening. And it was, for a long, long time, it was forever remembered.
I think they think there's different theories on how it started, is that somebody probably had a cigarette you could smoke when you ate back then, and somebody, busboy or something, cleaned off the table, and there was a lit cigarette, and then threw all the stuff that was on the table in a closet or something, and it simmered.
Yeah, that's what happened. Tell us what's going on, Forrest.
Who will Charles Citizen girls? Who will they play in the Final Four? Who's their opening matchup?
Well, actually, we defeated Ozark yesterday, 46-24, and last night East Limestone defeated Winona, 63-52. Tonight, East Limestone will play Jemison, and that winner will play the Lady Trojans of Charles Henderson this Saturday morning at 9 o'clock in the Bill Harris Arena, located on Bessemer Parkway in Birmingham.
All right. Now, very important. If they win, when will they play the second game? Do you know?
I do not know. It'll be the following week.
Because I would be willing to go up there to see that. It's going to be on Saturdays.
Yeah, well, we do play Saturday against
It'll
either.
It'll be on TV,
Yeah.
Dad. You don't have to go up there.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing my granddaughter up there when I was there.
Well, this Saturday, the Lady Trojans will play either East Limestone or Jemison at 9 o'clock in the morning. And, they're coached by Denisha Jones Elder, and Charles Henderson was led by a sophomore. Her name is Michaela Hobdy. She scored 16 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 steals, and she's a point guard. And she is quick as lightning.
She's going to be something, isn't she?
And
only a sophomore.
Only a sophomore.
Look out.
Shoot, they won by 20, 22, 24?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, Kristen Jackson scored 15 points, 8 rebounds, 5 steals. Deanna Gaucher, 7 points and 9 rebounds. Raven Williams scored 6. And Malia Ward added 2 points. So congratulations. They're in the Final Four again. And they're the defending 5A state champion.
All right. And again,
I saw a picture of the team. It looks like they only dressed 8 players. That's crazy.
There's not many, but they all play, I'm sure.
Haven't these girls won 2 state championships, haven't they now?
Yeah.
And then they got in the finals another year, right? So they
they won 2. Were in the championship game one time, and I think they made another Final Four one time.
So this is a dynasty, definitely.
How many state tournaments have they won?
2.
They won 2?
And they could have won another year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when
they had the lead late in the game.
Davenport fouled out.
They won Davenport's sophomore year, and then they won Nora Jones or Tootie Jones' senior year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I want to say her freshman year is when they lost. When they're up by 5 with less than a minute to go.
Golly.
So, anyway, and also
good luck, Trojans.
Yeah, the Luverne Lady Tigers will face St. Luke's of Mobile this Friday at 1 p.m. at Garrett Coliseum. The winner goes to the Final Four.
Oh, that's a big game for Luverne.
And the Enterprise boys will play Mary Montgomery of Mobile this Friday at 11 o'clock in Garrett Coliseum. The winner of that game will go to the Final Four.
And I know a lot of people.
How was Charles Henderson done before everybody else? That's kind of crazy. They get a lot of extra time to get ready.
It's because of that snow and ice.
Oh, wow. That's good for Charles Henderson.
Yeah, East Limestone and Winona, and I'm sure Jemison all had a little bit of snow and ice, so it delayed. So the Alabama Athletic Association had to rearrange some things.
But I tell you what, Enterprise has a fine team. They're coached by a guy that was not too long ago was a player at Enterprise High School. Mike, you know a little bit about him, don't you?
Yeah, Harrelson.
Yeah, coach.
Played at Western Carolina.
In fact, he drove right through Troy and went to Western Carolina and played there for 4 years.
Yeah, they made the NCAA tournament when he was there.
Are we talking about the Enterprise girls team or boys team?
Boys team. And and of course, they're on our cable down there, and good luck to them. And Coach Harrelson is quite a young coach at Enterprise High School, and he is really making his name known.
I saw where Pine Level Arts beat Glenwood yesterday, and they're 3-1-1. Who in the world beat Pine Level Arts?
Bessemer Academy beat them in the Edgewood tournament this past weekend, and. I heard the shortstop,
White,
he has a hamstring injury, and I'm sure, they just got off a basketball championship, and they're taking the arms ready. But you know, when they tied the game 5-5 on Friday night, I'm sure there was a time limit because they were in a tournament. They didn't want them going a lot of extra innings and wearing themselves out, so they stopped it at 5-5, and then they ended up losing the tournament to Bessemer. Their only loss of the season thus far. But when you beat Glenwood, you're in the hunt, and once everybody gets healthy, you know, you want to be there at the end.
And ladies and gentlemen, here's what happened. Chase Chirico's 2-run single with 2 strikes on him in the last inning of the game. It was 2 outs, 2 strikes on Case Chirico, and the youngster single sharply left field, scoring 2 runs, and a walk-off victory for the Patriots. Wasn't that something? Don't you know that thrilled a lot of fans in the stands?
Yeah. They pitched Drew Nelson, Connor Couch, Javon Christian, and Levi Sykes took the win. And Pike Lib will travel to Abbeville today. They will start at, I'm not sure, I'm sure there'll be a couple of games.
Yeah.
Charles Citizen is at Stanhope Elmore today. And in softball, the Charles Citizen Lady Trojans will host Enterprise today at 6 o'clock. And Pike Liberal Arts girls will play softball at Macon East tomorrow.
So you got a lot of places you could go. And I tell you what, when I look at that, I say, man, I ought to drive down to Abbeville and eat at one of the Yellow Man's restaurant and go watch that ball game.
And the Pike County boys baseball team defeated Abbeville in a doubleheader yesterday, 17-16 and 16-0. So they're off to a 2-0 start. Goshen doesn't start until March the 1st. Excuse me.
Wasn't that somebody? Mike, here it is. Pike won 17-16, and then they turned around and won 16-0.
Pike County High.
Pike County High School. What did I say?
You did. You said Pike County.
So Pike County 17-16 and 16-0. And
they must have pitched a better pitcher in the second game, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this too, Mike. This guy, if the one that I think is coaching is coaching, they're very well coached at Pike County High School.
Yeah.
Well, the one they had originally is gone, Taylor Barnes. I don't know who the new coach is now.
Yeah. And also in softball,
they had a coach that was at Hoover as an assistant and was coaching down there. I don't know. Willie Wright, I'm sure, is involved in whoever's coaching baseball, though.
Well, Mike,
Willie Wright could coach him.
Well, they got a legendary guy sitting right there. Why don't they let him coach?
The legendary, you got Marcus Bryant?
Michael coaching at Pike County High School. You don't know who those guys are?
Well, I mean, they had a kid named Taylor Barnes.
I'm talking about the old man. I mean, the older guy, Mike. The guy who's the head football coach at Pike County?
Holland.
Fred
Holland, or his brother. Doug Holland is one great baseball coach.
Doug's the basketball coach. He didn't coach.
I know it, but I would think though if
Doug used to play baseball. I remember.
I would think if they would.
Fred played at Alabama State. He was the first baseman.
Both of them are tremendous baseball coaches, and the reason I say that is one of them would coach baseball this year. Well, they're off to a good start.
Well, Goshen softball plays at Ayrton today, and Ayrton defeated, I think in baseball, defeated Dothan yesterday 3-0.
Little Ayrton beat Dothan?
Didn't Charles Henderson play Dothan?
Charles Henderson beat Ayrton the first game of the year, like 11-5.
Yeah.
Darrell Lee had 2 home runs.
Yeah.
Big Ben Reeves hit a home run. But on softball again today, Charles Henderson hosts Pike Road. Pike Liberal Arts is at Abbeville, and Goshen's at Ayrton, all in ladies softball.
The reason I said that, I thought that Charles Simpson played Dothan this past week.
They may have, but we're 2-1. That was in the tournament.
Okay, I got you.
Over there, I mean, they're 2-1.
Yeah. But of course, baseball is such a big sport. We want to make sure that we keep up with it and let you know who's playing where. And hey, it's nothing any better than to go out and watch your favorite team play. Tonight, from Riddle Pace Field.
I got a question about baseball.
The Trojans of Troy, Mike, against UAB. And to me, that's a big rivalry.
6 o'clock.
That'll be a big one.
Riddle Pace.
6 o'clock, and of course, if you're out in the outfield, make sure you got plenty of got a lot of logs for the fire out there. You know that they had to stop it a few times because the smoke was getting out on the field. They had to move those grills because the center fielder started complaining about smoke getting on him.
Smoke gets in my eyes.
And so a couple of my buddies there that are doing that cooking out there, and boy, the food is good. If you're in with that crowd out there, that's where you need to be.
There you go.
Tonight, because you got the heater, and but again, they have to be real careful about having too much smoke get on the field during the game while they're cooking.
Let them cook though. Are they going to have minor league baseball this year? Are the Biscuits going to play?
Yes.
The Biscuits are back playing.
They're going to play 6 games Tuesday through Sunday at the same place. Monday's off. Then they'll play 6 straight games in a series.
Yeah.
They'll play all the way through.
And I would think if we called Montgomery and got the schedules of everything, they would probably send us some tickets to the games because of where
we'll talk about them. Yeah, just get us some free tickets and some.
Back to those guys in left field, Rice. This is what you would love. You bring your daughter and your son out there and let them run around. There's a lot of kids running around out there.
Yeah,
and then you're eating barbecue and
that's the way to do it.
And grilled chicken and whatever. Yeah. and if you want to bring something, you can. You say you throw it in there and let them cook it. You know.
The golf. When I was riding around town, I stopped by the country club. Yeah. Pike Liv was getting through with a golf tournament, but they finished 4th, 14 strokes behind Southern, Glenwood, and Morgan. Jackson Cleveland shot a 78, and his granddaddy is Delaney Curvin.
Oh,
he's a lefty. He's a sophomore.
Oh, I bet they're tickled.
And they'll play their next match in Greenville. Fort Dale's hosting that tournament. And I ran into Braden Presswood, who plays golf for Charles Henderson.
Yeah.
I believe he's just a freshman. But his next tournament is in Op tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning.
Okay.
So good luck to Braden Presswood.
I tell you, you could write a book about all their.
You have one player, the coach and the player just jump in a car and head down the tournament.
Either that or he goes with his parents, but they only have one player at Charles Henderson now that's a golfer.
That's competing?
Yeah, just one. That's
how do they just don't have a team?
He plays as an individual.
As an individual, okay.
Right. You know, they've had
Auburn got a big transfer from West Virginia, former starting cornerback Deshaun Miller, who had a really good year for Neil Brown last year, had 32 tackles, 9 pass breakups. Is now a transfer playing at Auburn. So Neil Brown lost one of the starting cornerbacks to Auburn yesterday.
And I'm thinking that you're going to hear more and more about these transfers. I mean, hey, I got my fingers crossed. Some of Troy could lose some of their great players if we don't watch it. Do you want to play in front of 85,000 or you want to play in front of 20,000? That's scary, isn't it?
Yeah, new game, new world.
Yeah. Luke McCaffrey, who was a quarterback at Nebraska, or one of their quarterbacks, is transferring to Louisville. And also headlines I saw where the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin, has COVID-19.
Oh, boy.
And the city's doing well.
Yeah. Hey, pass those donuts and let's tell me. Go ahead.
Can I match them for you?
Yeah, match them for me if you don't mind. In fact, when he matches them, that means you got more than one
donuts. You put them together.
And these are donut holes.
Alabama basketball, Alabama's ranked 6th in the country right now. That's the highest ranking they've had in
ever, probably
15 years.
Yeah, they play at Arkansas.
They were number 1 under Guthrie at one time.
Were they really? I didn't know that.
They play at Arkansas tomorrow night. Tip off at 8, and Auburn plays. Florida plays at Auburn tonight.
Yeah.
I believe at 6.
Well, if Alabama wins, they clinch the regular season SEC title, so that's a big game.
Mike watches this real close, and I'm going to let him analyze this. First of all, what has made Alabama so good? But again, and one other thing is, what has made Auburn so bad? What has happened to Auburn basketball?
I'm wondering if it has
Auburn's young, real young. Definitely have the
But how did they get to be so young?
What? I think it's kind
I
of.
mean,
they
did they
on
just
probation
did a
and
lot
not
of people
going
quit
to
it?
the dance?
Yeah.
That's probably adds to it. You know, if you're not knowing you're not going anywhere after the season because they are self-imposed probation, so they probably don't have enough. They lost some of their oomph.
All right, the great player that they finally got eligible, and that's where he'd been. Everybody asked me, said, "Where's this guy been?" Well, he wasn't eligible until the first of the year. Is that right, Mike?
Yeah, Cooper.
Yeah, Cooper, and he is a great player, but he has not played well lately. What's happening? Are people now double teaming him or what?
Well, I mean, people, kind of learn a little bit from tape, and kind of learn how to defend a little bit better. When he first got out there, nobody kind of knew what he was going to do. So.
I also read an article where Alabama may not be able to reschedule Texas A&M because Texas A&M has missed 7 games, but Alabama may get to play someone else in their place. But they'll find the answer to that question this weekend. The Southeastern Conference will make a determination if you will play Texas A&M or you may be able to schedule someone else. So
I couldn't figure out the whole Troy situation. So Georgia State and Troy had a game at home and it got canceled. I guess maybe due to weather or they've had so many COVID issues. But when Troy travels to Georgia State and plays Atlanta, they get blown out both games. I feel like Georgia State should have had to make that game up in Troy. They had 2 games they're supposed to play, and they're going to at least play 1. But that seems really unfair to Troy and totally, an advantage for Georgia State to have Troy come on the road.
All right. Is this the playoffs we're talking about?
No, we got just 2 games
left.
left.
Regular season basketball, but they're not even going to make up those games.
Oh,
kind of changing the topic a little. I read an article by Mark Inabinet of AL.com. I really like him. He had an interview he reported on William Andrews. Remember him?
Yeah.
That was the fullback for the Auburn that went to the Falcons.
Remember him well.
Got hurt in the Pro
And
Bowl.
he made a
Hawaii.
strong case that William Andrews should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Andrews goes to the Falcons, plays fullback, and he has 4,000-yard seasons out of 5, and the one that he didn't have a 1,000-yard season, it was a strike year where they only had 9 games. So he would have had 5,000-yard seasons in a row, and that's back when they played 14 games. That's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Plus, he was a fullback. He wasn't a tailback, and he caught all kind of passes out of the backfield. So his total yards were even more than that. And then he had a terrible knee injury.
At the Pro Bowl in Hawaii on the beach, wasn't it?
So his career, but he points out that there are players that played less than Andrews that are in the Pro Hall of Fame, like Gale Sayers.
Yeah.
So, I'd never really thought about it, but now I'm inclined to think that William Andrews ought to be in the. Now he's no longer eligible as a recent person, but he can go on the veterans list.
Well,
look at William Andrews' numbers in about 5 or 6 seasons for the Falcons and see if they're not.
He was a much better pro player than he was.
The Falcons were good when he played for them. Yeah, he was their main man.
And another thing,
they won games there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I thought he was a much better pro player than he was a college player.
Oh, yeah, in college.
But at one time, they had 3. Auburn University had, I don't think anybody can compare with it. They had 3 people in their backfield
that all made all-pro.
That made all-pro in the same backfield. Name them. Can you name them, Mike?
I mean, they had Brooks, Andrews, and Cribbs, didn't they?
Brooks, Andrews, and Cribbs.
What about Lionel James?
Well, he was coming later, but Brooks.
He played with Bo Jackson.
Of course, Cribbs was from a little town in West Alabama named Sulligent, a little bitty town. Played at Auburn, and then of course Andrews, and finally the.
That Andrews made the point. He was interviewed on a radio station. He said he's probably hurt by they just have a position called running back, and so they don't have a place for fullbacks. But he says I was a pure fullback. He says the only real pure fullback in the NFL Hall of Fame is Larry Zonka.
Oh, isn't that unreal? Yeah.
So
Larry Zonka played at what school, and how many pro players have come from that school?
Syracuse.
Yeah, I know it, but
Ernie
tell
Davis.
me, Ernie Davis is 1.
Floyd Little.
2.
Jim Brown.
3. That's brilliant.
Ernie Nevers? No.
No. Wait a minute. You just.
Oh, okay.
You just ran by one of them. That's where the big boy came played.
Jim Brown.
No.
Jim Brown should have won the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah. Did you name?
All right. Floyd Little, Jim Brown.
The guy we just got through talking
Ernie
about. Ernie Davis.
Ernie Davis.
And then Larry Zonka.
Yeah.
I think Ernie Davis won the Heisman Trophy, didn't he?
Yeah, and he died shortly after that.
Did Larry Zonka win the Heisman Trophy?
No,
I don't know if he did.
no.
But he was a great one, though. He was
Well,
one of the
for
great.
the Dolphins, he was.
He
They
was
say
the great,
Jim Brown, his favorite sport was lacrosse.
Lacrosse, yeah.
He was an All-American in lacrosse.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, we're up here eating these donut holes, and Forrest drops by there and chats with them every morning, and ends up buying some donut holes and brings them on the show.
5 o'clock.
And let me just tell you this is fine eating. I'm telling you, you talk about some delicious donuts.
They have
you
wiped
can
out.
get them. You can get them right there at the Trojan Donut Hole.
These two have wiped out 24
Yeah.
donut holes.
And, well, I
can do 48.
The worst thing anybody can do is stick these donut holes
Right
in front of us.
yeah.
I mean, really,
Quit doing that.
Okay.
and he's the one that looks like needs the nourishment.
I
Why don't y'all go out there and shoot a commercial?
Yeah,
His name's Charlie.
exactly.
Charlie Chomp.
Talking to Bill Rice Jr., of course, Bill Rice Jr., born and raised in Troy, Alabama, and we're proud of
I
it.
get criticized sometimes for not talking enough about Auburn, so I wanted to bring up William Andrews, and sometimes they miss people that are worthy of Hall of Fames,
Yeah.
don't they?
Oh, yeah.
And maybe somebody will get behind this. Kenny Stabler should have been in the Hall of Fame a lot earlier than he was.
Yeah, that's right. I always
And for
wondered
some
why.
reason, they didn't put Derek Thomas in the College Football Hall of Fame until about 15 or 20 years after he finished his college career, which is bizarre.
Yeah.
Since he was one of the best college outside linebackers, arguably the best college outside linebacker of our lifetime.
He's a great
Yeah,
guy.
nobody will ever break his sack record. His senior year, what did he have, 27 sacks?
Yeah, I mean, and they were only 10 or 11 games
Yeah.
back then, and people didn't pass as much.
Mike,
back
let me ask you this: was it Thomas that against Penn State that made all those tackles?
Yeah.
All right, we saw him against.
We were at the game. He sacked him 6 or 7 times.
And let me tell you what he would do. He would play on one side of the ball, or the end position, and rush. Then they'd move him over to the other side. They didn't know which way he was going.
Mm-hmm.
They just knew that their guy couldn't get away from him.
And he did more than sack quarterbacks. I mean, he blocked kicks. He had an uncanny ability to block kicks, and he stripped people and caused fumbles.
I don't know how many tackles he made in the game, but the guy that the quarterback was a well-known forecaster. What's his name?
No, you're thinking of Todd Blackledge. He played a couple of years. Blackledge was on Penn State's national championship team that lost one game all season, and they lost it to Alabama, I think, in Coach Bryant's last year. Alabama actually started off good that season, and Russ Wood had a good game against
Russ Wood was a good football player.
Blackledge and Penn State that
But
year.
I don't know. I was trying to think of that Penn State quarterback that was sacked so many times.
But that wasn't Blackledge. That would have been about 7 years. That's
what was
5
his
or 6.
name?
Was it Seneca?
No,
The quarterback that played against Thomas was Tony Saka.
Oh, okay. Against Thomas, though. Was Saka.
Well, they finally got Derek Thomas in the College Hall of Fame, so there's a backstory there about why they blackballed him for so long.
Well, he was a great
That about?
He was a great one.
I don't know. I mean, but you look at it. I mean, it took them 15 or 20 years to induct the best outside linebacker in college football history.
I want to mention today, Premier.
You got to think Ingram's going to go in. Derrick Henry's going to go in for sure. Heisman Trophy winners. They'll be going in.
I tell you what, my All-American is a guy named Jason that owns and operates Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass. And
he's a graduate of Pacelli High School.
And, in Columbus, Georgia. He's my All-American, and I hope that he's doing very well right now.
Well, I emailed this author I said, I congratulated him on his William Andrews story. I said, I agree with you. I said, I got another Hall of Fame story for you. I said, we need to get Don Maestri in the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. And I researched Coach Maestri. You know, he won 501 games at Troy.
Wow.
Which is the most of any NCAA coach in state history. Now, Chapman, remember Coach Chapman, Larry Chapman at AUM? Yeah. He won more. He won a lot more, 700 in the NAIA. But
has he gone in yet?
No, he's not in. He probably should be in too.
Yeah.
But Maestri won 501 games, more than any 4-year NCAA coach, and he was punished really severely because Troy went from Division II to Division I, and that really hurt the basketball program. Because Troy had no conference to play in, wasn't eligible for the postseason for 8 years. And so you had that long, weird, dry spell where we're in these conferences in the Northeast and Chicago area, and nobody knew the teams we were playing. And then Coach Maestri stuck it out, and then he got back in a decent conference, and Troy qualifies for the Big Dance as a Division I team, which was a huge deal.
I remember going to that game.
2 NIT teams.
That's right. No question about it. Of course, we appreciate all of our supporters, and of course, Jason, one of my dear friends and great supporters of our show, Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass in Troy, Alabama.
Wilt's in it, Sam Newton's in it, Sonny Smith's in it. I mean, I think Dwayne Rebo, the Rams Southern coach, is in it.
Well, there's 2 coaches. There's 2 Bill Jones. I thought there was just one Bill, but there was a Bill Jones at Jack State.
State coach is in it, yeah. And they beat him all the time.
And then there's Bill Jones that was at North Alabama, who was Barrett Jones' grandfather, that played football at Alabama. They're both in it.
That's right.
But Coach Maestri isn't.
I tell you what, we need to do some politicking there. You're exactly right. I'm glad you
find out who's on the committee and write them all a letter.
Well, Troy, in Division II, we had become a powerhouse in basketball. Well, I say we, Troy University. I mean, Coach Maestri had 4 years in a row where they won not only 20 games, but a lot more than 20 games. Went to the Final Four one time, and then went to the final game one time. And then you had that team that scored 258 points, which is an average 121 points for a whole season. If Troy would have stayed in Division II and Gulf South Conference, there's no telling how many wins and national titles Coach Maestri would have had, because he had it working.
I want to mention something today. February the 23rd is at Zaxby's, Boy Scouts of America Troop 41. Eagle Scouts project is to it's going on. They say that all the proceeds today, at least 10% of the proceeds from Zaxby's will go toward this Boy Scout Troop 41, who does a wonderful job with our youth here in town. Of course, tell us a little bit about that, Bill. Do you understand?
Well, I see it's a Eagle Scout project, and
flip it over. They're trying to build a chicken.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, they're wanting.
There we go. I'm sorry.
The fundraiser is going to be at Zaxby's tonight between 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock, and they wanted us to mention that it's an Eagle
Eat Supper at Zaxby's.
Yeah, it's an Eagle Scout service project, 10% of the sales, but they're wanting to build a chicken coop service project at New Life Christian Academy. So you build a chicken coop, put chicks in there. then you get eggs, and then you can consume the eggs, sell them for another cause. So Zaxby's.
These Eagle Scout, there have been some fantastic Eagle Scout projects through the year. That'd be a good story.
And Zaxby's is wonderful chicken. You know, let me just say this. We probably got more chicken places than anybody in town, and we're getting a new one.
I would like to be the connoisseur and the judge of all those chicken places.
Yes, of course, Church's chicken is coming to Troy. Did you know that?
Hey, it is, and I went.
Do you like Church's chicken?
I do. I like most any chicken.
Yeah.
But I went to Mr. Ho's yesterday. They're open.
Oh yeah, Mr. Ho's is open. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we keep getting wonderful restaurants.
Buffet or
it was buffet.
Or do you have to order?
It was
buffet, Mike.
It was buffet.
Did you sit there and eat, or did you get it to go?
No, I sat there and ate.
Well, Rice is enjoying your donuts this morning, no question about it.
They still have the egg drop soup and the egg rolls.
Yes.
On the buffet?
Yes.
Oh man, I love that.
You name it, they got it. Hey, in Trojan ladies softball, we're 8-1. Tomorrow night we play a doubleheader against Sanford at 4:00 and 6:00. And this weekend they travel to Alabama, to Tuscaloosa, where the largest concentration of crystal is located in the trophy case up there. But they'll play North Carolina, Memphis, and Alabama on Sunday. And then next weekend they'll be in Auburn.
Say those again, North Carolina.
North Carolina, Memphis, and Alabama.
Two blue bloods there in North Carolina and Alabama, and Memphis. And
Troy plays UAB at home tonight in baseball?
That's right.
They do. 6:00, first pitch.
And let me tell you this, I can see him right now with chicken under both shoulders right here walking in.
hey, the kid that hit 3 home runs for Troy, that was in one game.
He hit 3 home runs?
I read the article this morning.
3 home runs and 2 doubles, yeah.
In one game.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Nobody's ever done that.
Well, one other guy had...
National Player of the Week.
Tell us about him. I want to hear this.
There's another kid that did it for Troy that hit 3 home runs, but not like that. Go ahead, Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mike. Tell us about this guy.
Yeah, this is big news. 3 home runs in one game and 2 doubles.
His name's Logan, I don't know how you spell this, Cerny, Cerny.
Okay.
Named one of Collegiate Baseball's National Players of the Week. Prominent publication announced Monday. The Troy center fielder in his third... it's the third Trojan in the last 3 seasons and the 12th ever to be recognized.
And he hit 3 home runs and 2 doubles in one game?
He blasted 3 home runs with 2 doubles in Saturday's contest against the Penguins, tying the school record for total bases in a single game.
That's what I was wondering.
Set in 1990 by Scotty Yates.
How many RBIs?
How many
7 RBIs.
Wow.
Boy, what a game.
Yep.
Oh, me.
He's just a sophomore.
Wow.
I've never heard of him. He didn't play until this year, though, did he?
He leads the Sun Belt home runs, total bases, tied for most in doubles. Prior to the season, Cerny was listed by Division I Baseball as the number 6 prospect in the Sun Belt for 2021 draft. So this guy must be a really great player.
Where's he from? You say?
Look that up.
Yeah, we'd love to know this because
I guess Florida.
We need to call whoever the mayor is of that town and say today and be kind to this guy.
3 What's the most home runs ever in a professional baseball game? Mike Amos, I bet you.
Several have hit 4.
Yeah, 4 home runs now.
Has anybody ever hit 5?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Nobody's ever hit 5, I don't think.
Reggie Jackson hit 3 in one World Series, didn't he,
Yeah.
at one time?
Give me the mayor. I want the mayor of this young man's hometown, and I want to call him on the phone right now.
This kid's from Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Lawrenceville, Georgia. Okay, that's the Atlanta area.
6'1", 185.
Wow.
And Lawrenceville, and that's north of Atlanta. Pretty good. I want to say the quarterback at Clemson, that's where he came from.
I think you're right, Mike. Yeah.
Lawrenceville. And
the quarterback from Clemson and the quarterback for Ohio State were just right close to each other.
I was hoping that we would give this.
Last year he got injured. Of course, it was a shortened season, but his freshman year, he had 267 with 9 home runs and 42 RBIs.
Yeah.
So this guy's a pretty good player.
We need to call the city hall over there.
It's Victoria Jones as Lawrenceville City Councilwoman was selected by her fellow council members and Mayor David Steele, Mayor Pro Tem. So I guess it's David Steele.
David Steele.
I'm trying to find your number, Mike.
David Steele, and I don't.
Are we really going to call these people?
Yeah, but you know what? I've got a pen that ran out of ink. How many pens you ever had run out of ink? Let me check my pockets and see. I hope Nick. Hope you're enjoying the show this morning, and of course he's.
I'll try to find it. I can't find it. Right
Here
now.
comes Stevie. Steve gets us one. And what's this guy's number?
I'm looking that up, Mike. I'm trying to figure it out now.
We need to have a day for this guy. Brundage, tell us about who you played golf with, or who played golf with you recently.
What's the big fella's name? The quarterback transfer from Missouri.
Mike, he played.
Caleb Powell.
You know,
he came and played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I was joking the other day about Albert Scarborough, said he saw him standing outside the bank building.
Yeah.
Well, hey, guess what?
Forrest saw the
Forrest saw the Troy quarterback, new quarterback, playing golf
He's
Saturday.
about 6'2", 210.
Well, maybe. Yeah, he's
Look at
one of the
fella.
new quarterbacks, but he's got to beat out two good ones.
Yeah, but
Do you want to hear players who've hit 4 home runs in a game, Dad?
yeah, the major league players.
Yeah, you got.
All right, let me see what I can do. Joe Adcock, Gil Hodges,
You're right.
Willie Mays.
You're right.
Rocky Calabito. Am I right?
Don't.
Huh?
Yeah, you're right. Wow.
Let's see here.
That's amazing.
I know my ball now. Let's see. Ernie Banks, did he ever hit 4?
No.
Hank Aaron hit 4. No, did he hit 4?
No.
He did not hit 4 in a game.
All right. Orlando Cepeda, did he hit 4?
No.
Jim Gentile, did he hit 4?
No.
Oh boy, I'm having trouble now. All right, that's about all I can come up with. Tell me.
Big Poppy from the Red Sox probably hit 4.
The great Lou Gehrig did in 1932 against the Philadelphia Athletics.
Okay.
A guy named Chuck Klein did.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, Chuck Klein in 1936. A guy named Pat Surrey.
Never heard of him.
Feerey for the Chicago White Sox in 1948.
I wasn't born until 40. I was born in
Then you
47.
had Gil Hodges, 1950 for the Brooklyn Dodgers.
I got that one.
For the Milwaukee Braves.
Who? Wait a minute. Who now? Adcock. I got both of those. All right.
Rocky Calabito for the Cleveland Indians.
I got that one right.
Willie Mays in 1961 for the San
Got
Francisco
that one
Giants.
right.
This is a legendary player, Mike Smith for the Philadelphia Phillies. In
All right. I didn't get Mike Smith.
A lot of players, people will know this name. Bob Horner for the Atlanta Braves.
Okay, Horner. Okay.
4 home runs in a game.
Okay. Played third base for Atlanta.
This guy was Mark Whitten, played for St. Louis Cardinals in '93.
Mark who? Mark who?
Mark Whitten.
Man, that you talking about a no name? I cannot believe this guy.
He just got hot on the right day.
He sure did.
And then Mike Cameron played several years. Did it for the Mariners in 2002.
Gosh, I don't remember
He's
that.
from LaGrange, Georgia.
And he hit a 4 home run.
Sean Green for the Los Angeles Dodgers in 2002. Carlos Delgado, he was a great player for the Blue Jays in 2003. Josh Hamilton in 2012 for the Rangers. A guy named Scooter Jeanette in 2017 for the Reds.
I've never heard of these guys.
I've heard of Josh Hamilton.
And then J.D. Martinez. Yeah, Hamilton was an MVP. J.D. Martinez for Arizona Diamondbacks.
And I can't even. I mean, it's
Hamilton
amazing.
was the terrible alcoholic who was out of baseball for
Yeah, that's
several
right.
years, and when he came back, the only way he could come back is he had to have somebody that was with him. They paid him nonstop to be with that guy and make sure he didn't relapse.
And of course, he was turned out to be a great player, no question about it. Boy, that is amazing. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Hi, Sandy. I'm right here. Come on in.
Eddie, I'm right here. Oh, Miss Mary, I'm right here. I'm right here.
Since 1969, we've been right here because at Troy Regional Medical Center, we take these words to heart.
I'm right here. Thank you.
Remarkable people, remarkable care.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Give me in the 70s today.
Back to our show, brought to you by E1 Services, Terry Moats. And hey, Terry Moats, the son of a legend, the legendary Marshall Boy Moats, is alive and well, doing well with his heating and air conditioning business here in town. So if you've got air conditioning or heating problems, ladies and gentlemen, no better place to go than A1 Services. Also, Southeast Alabama Rural Electric Co-op, we appreciate them.
Have y'all seen the weather in Troy this week? It's going to be 72 today, 75 tomorrow, 73 Thursday, 70 Friday, 79 on Saturday, and 79 on Sunday.
Go fishing or come play golf.
And we've got a group from Jacksonville, Florida, coming in here to play us in a 3-game set. So that's going to be good baseball. And is the college softball in? Or are they playing this weekend?
We play a doubleheader tomorrow.
All right.
And then we go to Alabama, to Tuscaloosa, to play in their classic.
Oh, well, that'd be something that we go up there and win that. We got the pitching. We got great pitching. And the young lady from...
play Sanford tomorrow night.
You know, my Uncle Bobby, my late Uncle Bobby Rice, Dad's older brother, he was the director of athletic facilities for a long time at University of Alabama, and one of his favorite teams and projects was the softball team.
Yeah.
You know, so he was instrumental in building their softball facilities, which are really nice over in Tuscaloosa.
And you're right.
Yeah, they're kind of a lot like the Atlanta Braves in baseball compared to softball. Alabama's softball team's been in the World Series. I don't know how many times. I think they've only won one though.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, we were thinking about talking to this mayor of Lawrenceville, Georgia, but of course Lawrenceville is a pretty big town north of Atlanta, and maybe tomorrow we can.
You know, this time next week you watch Troy practice football.
Oh yeah, that is great.
Yeah, watch this new quarterback from Missouri.
What day does the first come on, Mike? On Monday?
I believe it's Monday. Yeah.
Michael, did you see
the
video footage of Paul Tyson throwing the ball?
Yeah, I keep on hearing that they're talking about him transferring. Is that really true?
I don't think so. Maybe after this spring.
I'm hearing if he doesn't win the job that he's going to want to transfer out.
Well, maybe, but he's going to try to make an impression this spring. But this little footage I saw on some website was him throwing the ball in the indoor practice facility, and he looks like he's got a heck of an arm. He was throwing a lot of really long routes and putting them right on the receiver.
Well, would that be something?
I read an article that he can really run it. Like he's like a 4.6 guy for sure.
God, that would be
so he's a real good athlete, and he came out of a very good high school program. And
yeah, he's out of Hewitt-Trussville, who has like more players to go to Division I schools than anywhere in the state. They never win the state championship.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a tall kid, and he's probably just going to get better.
Yeah,
as
he's a legitimate 6'5", isn't he?
I think he's 6'4", 6'5".
Paul Jr. is he's probably that tall.
How tall is his dad that you went to school with? Was he tall like Coach Brian?
No, he's probably 6 feet.
Yeah.
So he got his height somewhere else than Mark, his daddy.
Yeah, the big question to me will be Auburn. I guess Bo Nix is still going to be their quarterback. You know, from what you hear, I don't see anybody that's going to come in there and beat him out.
You're right, and but I've never been sold on Bo Nix. I don't know why. I just never.
Well, his freshman year, he made some really big throws and some really big runs against Alabama.
Against several teams, yeah.
Yeah, but
he actually got worse last year, I felt like.
I think he did too.
Tyson's 6'5", 228, according to those.
Oh boy, he's perfect size, isn't he? Of course,
I'm not sad on Bryce Young as the quarterback. I mean, I watched his film in high school. He looked phenomenal, but he never blew me away last year. He definitely didn't have like the Tua effect his freshman year that I kind of thought Bryce Young would have this year, like in mop-up duty.
Yeah, when Tua came in mop-up duty, he wowed everybody when he. But I don't think Bryce really got many opportunities to turn it loose with the first team, and throw it all around like he would want to.
So right now, you would think it would be Bryce Young, the youngster from California, who was considered the number one quarterback in the country coming out of high school, and then Paul Bryant Jr. That's not his name, but he's the grandson of Paul Bear Bryant, and I'm sure that.
I wish we could pull a picture up. He looks a lot like a young Bear Bryant.
Did he really?
Nice looking fella.
He is the great grandson of Paul Bryant.
All right, now
Troy's in a weird situation too. Jacob Free played about as much as Gunnar Watson, and Free looked really good in a couple games, and Watson was so-so. And I mean, he played good in the South Alabama game, I felt like, and played good in a couple others, but those guys are pretty even in my opinion. I don't know what y'all think.
Who is the quarterback that that played against our bunch from? Oh gosh.
Free was the one against Arkansas State.
Arkansas, that's what I'm saying. All right, Arkansas State.
And that's the best Troy looked all year.
Yeah, and you beat Arkansas State at their place like that. That is amazing.
Yeah.
You think about it. And what was that final score? 38-6 or something like that.
Yeah, 38-6, something like that. Yeah.
So all right, Troy. Right now, Troy's 4 quarterbacks. Right now, name them. You got Watson.
You got the Tool kid that didn't play. He's a redshirt freshman, or just a freshman, I guess, is the rule. And then you got Gunnar Watson, who would be a junior or sophomore, and Jacob Free to be either a junior or a senior. And then you got the Ted Powell kid that's a junior that came in from Missouri.
Oh, well, you keep. There's no way. I just cannot see it in any way them being able to hold on to all 4 of those quarterbacks. I just can't see it. Can you?
You wouldn't think so.
Well, some of them have already transferred. Do they want to keep transferring? Some of them have. Free has already transferred to Troy. The Missouri kid's already transferred. Well, played at 3 colleges in 5 years.
Yeah. Mike.
The Tool kid's the most interesting to me, though. I mean, you want to go with a young quarterback to build for the future? But Chip Lindsey's got to win now. He can't take that risk.
Let me ask you, Fitz, let me just ask you this question. This kid from Arkansas. I mean, he was the Arkansas Player of the Year. He signs out of high school with Missouri, which was a pretty good program, and he played a little bit. What makes him? Why did he come to Troy?
Well,
that really surprised me.
He thinks he can win the job.
Yeah.
Well, who does Missouri have? They played some freshman that did really well this year, didn't he? Or did pretty good?
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but yeah, he was pretty good.
Who was that?
Missouri.
Oh, yeah.
So his quarterback was
established.
The guy against Alabama that had transferred from TCU.
Yeah.
And this guy beat him out.
One guy was a red-headed guy. One guy was a red-headed guy. I'm trying to think of who he was.
Hey, can I throw you a curveball and go back to Alabama quarterbacks? Recently, Nick Saban, in one of his conferences, said that he was talking highly about Jalen Milroe, Milroe, M-I-L-R-O-E, 6'3", 206, dual quarterback out of Katy, Texas.
Yeah.
So he's another coming off the radar, 6'3",
This guy's
206.
coming out of high school?
He's already enrolled in Alabama. Jalen Milroe.
He's like
Milroe.
He's like Jalen. He's a dual threat. He can run it and throw it, and he's big.
We might be.
I've seen his highlights too. He looks really good.
Yeah.
So
we might be looking at the rest of the story. Mike, out of all those quarterbacks at Troy, that there was just one of them that transferred, the kid from Florida, and he had a lot of credentials.
Yeah, Gavin Screws.
Yeah, Screws.
And then now Parker McNeil's gone as well.
Now, where did they end up going? Do you know where they end up going?
I have no idea.
And Parker, you talking about Purdy now? Parker McNeil was he looked the part, and
well, you talking about a bust of a signee though? My goodness, never even saw the field.
Yeah, I know it.
Junior college All-American, and never even takes a snap.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I tell you what, if they can hold on to these four, I think they ought to find at least two out of the four. I think every one of them are players. One of them's going to end up going somewhere else, I would think.
Well, it's like Troy at one time had the quarterback who's the starter for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
And he wasn't going to win the job, so it's just sometimes you got to pick.
He felt like Brandon Silvers was better. That's amazing. Yeah. And this guy set the passing records of all time at Washington State.
That's right. Yeah.
And he felt like Brandon Silvers was better. That's why he left Troy.
Yeah, that's amazing. Of course, Auburn. Let's look at Auburn. Everybody. Who would be their backup?
That's a good question.
A kid named Lloyd, that was the backup that transferred from Bowling Green.
And he's their backup. A transfer from Bowling Green. Why wouldn't they have more candidates?
They got Cam Newton's younger brother, who played at Howard.
Are you serious? Who is
put up a lot of numbers. He was on the roster last year as a backup quarterback and never played.
I didn't know that. Did you know that Cam Newton had a younger brother?
Yeah, but I didn't know he transferred to Auburn.
Yeah, the story with him is it was the biggest upset in college football history. He was a quarterback at Howard, and Howard went on the road and played UNLV at UNLV. I think UNLV was a 40-point favorite, and he was the quarterback, and Howard beat UNLV.
Oh, boy.
That might be the big. I wonder what the biggest upset in college football history is.
Is he big, tall?
A lot of people say Appalachian State beating Michigan when Michigan was in the top 10, and Appalachian State was 1AA.
In the big house.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Well, we appreciate all of our sponsors. Of course, Premier, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram Truck on the bypass, and of course, Jason Gregory and our great group of salespeople that make that place go. I promise you, there's nobody's going to beat the Premier deal. Nobody. Of course, the Express Oil Change. Hey, I got a tire fix yesterday. My one place had my tire doomed. That I had to buy a new tire.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I took it by my buddy's place there, and he looked at it and put it in a machine and just did all kinds of things to it. Brought that old tire back out and said, "Hey, you ready to go?"
How about that?
One guy had me paying $250 for a new tire.
Well, that's a great story. There you go. Take it. They've done my tire work at Express Oil too.
Express Oil, you've got a good group there.
What's the difference in patching a tire and plugging the tire? What's the difference?
Both are the same thing, I would think. Wouldn't you think would be the same
Where
thing?
you go inside with a little, like a worm type thing, and you put glue on it, and you go out of the tire from the inside and then back in. They cut it off.
But now they have a machine. Now they have a machine that just goes ahead and just really, and it melts everything down, and it starts, going back and forth, and then they plug it. Wow. They've come a long ways, and again, thank you for saving me. Let's see this, $250 plus tax compared to $30. That's pretty good savings. Pretty good savings right there.
I would say so.
$30 for a patch or a plug, man. You must be going the wrong place. That should be like $15.
Oh my! Listen, I would have paid $100 instead of having to buy a new tire.
I've never paid $30 for a patch or a plug.
Well, I tell you what, hey, that was a deal. I thought was a deal, and I was very good about paying that.
I would have too.
Oh.
In Tuscaloosa, after the horrible tornado came through, there was so much damage and debris for months. And I remember all the car dealerships and tire places would patch and plug tires for free.
Yeah.
After that, because I don't know how many times I rode over. I mean, my car hit nails or screws or something.
Want to mention Town and Country right now. Of course, when they've got you covered, I promise you, they're a floor covering. By far the best place around. Of course, Circle Insurance, my good friend Sam Judah and all the great folks. And how about Noble Manor for assisted living? Noble Manor is the place you want to go. It's been a lot of fun today. Pike Tree Service is one of our sponsors, and we appreciate them so much. And, of course, I've done business with Tony for a long time. And there my guys are, Mike, P. Asphalt Furniture. I'll guarantee you, if you go down there, you're going to end up buying something, whether you have intended to buy something or not. You're going to buy something. And there's the Brundage Country Club. And tell us about this young man that you met.
I met one of the walk-on quarterbacks from Troy.
How did he look, and what kind of how did you receive him?
Did he look like a quarterback?
When he signed his name, I said, "You must play ball at Troy." He said, "I'm a transfer." And so I said, "We've been talking about you on the show." And
what was his name? Do you remember?
Help me again,
Taylor Powell.
Taylor Powell.
Okay.
And I met him and his girlfriend. They were playing golf, and he said, "I'm real excited to be here." I said, "We're proud to have you. We've been talking about you all on and on."
Well, tell everybody how much a round of golf costs at Brundage Country Club.
You can the green fees are $12 during the week. You can ride a cart for $15. So Tuesday through Friday, $27 for 18 holes. On the weekend, it's $30.
Yeah.
If you want to walk, it's just $12 to walk. And on the weekend, it's $15. And I'll be open about 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
Come on.
Back on this quarterback that's transferred. Did he have a girlfriend with him?
Yes, she's.
Now we know the rest of the story.
Well, she was down for a visit. She's at the University of Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
She's a physical education and health teacher. She's fixing to graduate. She's looking for a job in this area. Her specialty is basketball, and she's going to start working on her master's. But if you're looking for a physical education teacher that's a female in this sounding area.
Well, you could have given her lots of advice on that, didn't you?
I did. I've got there.
If he went to start a job, I'm sure she could find a job.
Yeah. Let's say hello to Albee this morning. It's over. The Auburn Tigers are ready and ready to go this football season as they open up the season. Look at this with the Mike. Tell us who they're going to open up with.
Akron,
the Zips.
Akron Zips.
And they'll be ready when kickoff.
Yeah, go Troy. Let's beat UAB tonight.
Have a great day.
6
We'll
o'clock.
see you tomorrow.
First pitch.